The Premier League is back and it's already bringing the drama. Arsenal have fired the first warning shot with a statement opening night win, but that's just the beginning. New signings, new managers, new ambitions, and a whole lot of pressure from the transfer market to the touchline. The Premier League has a brand new look, and today we are bringing you all the big stories, the biggest moves, and the talking points you need to know. The new season starts now, and of course I've got my very fantastic, reliable individual friend here in that building. He's none other but Olumide Alex. Olumide, it is a pleasure to have you here today.
Good morning, Mark. Good to be here.
How long has this been now?
It's been a while. Always a pleasure to be here.
Good to have you. Now, Tyson Fury has cast doubt on his long-awaited fight with Anthony Joshua, claiming the bout doesn't look like it's going to happen. Although the heavyweight rivals reportedly have contracts for a November 20th clash in New York. Promoter Eddie Hearn says key details are still unresolved. Fury has accused Hearn of demanding more money and using the proposed fight to benefit his Saudi-linked sporting ventures. And of course, not to forget, I have got Brenda Shima also standing by on Zoom. I hope she's already here for me. Brenda, how are you doing this morning?
I'm fine. Good morning, Mark.
All right.
It's good to see you.
Fantastic.
After the long ocean break.
Yes, I'll get to you in a bit. Olumide, quickly, Tyson Fury, Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua. We want this heavyweight fight to happen. But Fury has come out to call out Eddie Hearn right now because of his attitude with the way he's approaching the bout. Are you sure we're not about to see another docked fight again?
Long overdue fight. We've been anticipating this for a very long time. Yeah. And of course, for the camp of Anthony Joshua, remember Eddie Hearn manages him, and of course they signed a deal for the bout to be staged in the UK.
Yeah.
But on the other side now, it now looks like the camp of Tyson Fury, plus the contract they signed earlier with Sailor, they want this bout to be staged in New York. That has been the controversy. Yeah. So it now remains to be seen if the two parties will come to play and, of course, to get this ball. It's long overdue. We're looking forward to this bout, and we expect that.
But remember, there was the bout that Anthony Joshua had in the UK where he was taxed heavily. Yeah. He said, look, I think I'm done fighting in the UK. The taxes are too much and are breaking our backs. We can't go through this sport and all the stress. And at the end of the day, you guys take that chunk of tax from us, which is why he says most of his fights will be in the Middle East. Yeah. But right now, we're looking at a different venue with how this fight will happen. Are you sure the tax situation in the UK is not also affecting how business is being done in boxing right now?
It's been an issue. It's not just for Anthony Joshua, but for a couple of other fighters in the past. So I think for Anthony Joshua to have taken a cue after this actually meant what he saw then. But he's done a couple of fights in the Middle East, talking about the United Arab Emirates. But now he's looking forward to taking it back to the UK. But because of this tax issue, like you said, it's been an issue, which remains to be seen if this would definitely be sorted. But me personally, I'm looking forward to this bout coming up, especially
everybody's looking forward to it now. Now, the Nigerian Football Federation has dismissed Super Falcons coach Justin Madugu and the rest of his technical staff. The Falcons failed to qualify for the 2027 Women's World Cup after they lost to South Africa in the continental playoff for the competition. The team had earlier missed out on one of the 4 automatic tickets for the competition after losing to Cameroon in the quarterfinal of the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Now, Madugu was under intense scrutiny for his player selections and tactics throughout the disappointing WAFCON campaign. The 62-year-old leaves the job barely a year after leading the Falcons to their 10th continental title. Brenda, very quickly, I know that this news gladdens you somehow because it gladdened me as well that, yes, that they had to let him go, Madugu especially. With what happened with our girls at this just concluded tournament, where lies the hope moving forward? Because we saw some very unusual selections, some very bizarre, introductions into the team, and they lacked that grit, they lacked that bite. Where do you think we got it all wrong in this whole situation?
Thank you, Robert. I think Madugu, when things like this happen, the coach is definitely the one to take the fall. And I said it before. It's one thing, I always say it rather, it's one thing to have a good chef. It's another thing to know how to mix the ingredients. Yes, Randy Wardrum was not the best of coach, never won the AFCON, but he assembled these ladies who happened to put up that dominant performance at the World Cup that we saw, almost taking out the 3 Lionesses there. But coming back to home ground, as Africa now, they came back in that same spirit and dominated. And Madugu was just lucky to have been in charge of a high-spirited Falcons going into that WAFCON last year, winning it for the 10th time. Now, coming back to the reality, which is, this is your time. Let's see what you've got. That is where his lapses came to full display. We saw that he might have all these stars in the squad, but he doesn't really know how to put them together. I'm not someone to say, oh, let's sack. I'm an advocate rather for let's give Nigerian coaches a chance. But honestly, I think there's so much work to be done when it comes to coaching in Nigeria. I mean, there's no regard for Nigerian referees even in the African continent. So let's alone tell you that much, that there's so much work to be done in administrative work for Nigerian coaches and referees put together. But honestly, going forward, I think we just have to reassemble. It's a disappointing one. The Super Falcons have known to be at every World Cup since the inception of the Women's World Cup. This is the first time they will be going out, not just out of the World Cup, and not even picking a medal at the WAFCON. I mean, it's a very disappointing one. So I honestly see that NFF are in the right direction, but is it just Madugu who has to go? No, that is my own stand. I think a lot of people have to go. It's not just Madugu who calls the shot. People behind the scenes also are involved in the selection of these players. Okay. Like it or not, they don't like to say it, but we know that they are involved in it in some way or the other. So I don't think it's only Madugu that has to take the fall. A lot of other people has to also be questioned. And I like what's going on now, which we don't want to get into yet because we've not gotten concrete headway as to what is going on in the NFF. But I think a lot of restructuring needs to go down, not just for the fact that Super Falcons didn't make it, but also the fact that football is, going down in Nigeria generally. And I think not just this is just an opener for everybody to see that something is wrong.
Thank you for that beautiful insight there. Olumide, it is clear in developed countries by now, heads should be rolling. Yeah. Our senior guys didn't go to the World Cup. Our female failed to make it to the World Cup. The junior cadre are not even top flight doing anything that is very visible to the eyes. We are just slacking on all categories. Yeah. Everybody should be fired right now and this restructuring should be going on. But what do you think is still going to be the problem?
Yeah, long overdue, like you said. Restructuring is the next thing now. A couple of countries have done this in the past and now they are reaping the dividends. Morocco did same at the point. Senegal did same at the point. And now look at Morocco. The under-20 national team won the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. Yeah. That was last year. Morocco made it to the semi-final of the 2022 FIFA Men's World Cup. See what they did at the last edition. That's a dividend of proper structure, putting a proper structure in place. So talking about Nigeria now, our football generally, it needs total overhauling, and overhauling starts from administration. For me.
I want to ask a tricky question. Yeah. Why is it that when it comes to our football, we cannot even stage a protest to say our football officials should be fired? No, Brenda, come and help me here. Why is it when it comes to Nigerian football, why can't we mobilize as a country and head down to the NFF headquarters and say, we don't want any of you there, everybody get out? Is it not possible? Can't we do it?
I think we will invite you to spearhead that protest.
You will invite me now.
It's something that we will call you down to Abuja to come and spearhead that protest. So we will be right behind you. But I think you are right. Drastic times, desperate measures, desperate times rather require drastic measures. Yes. So I think it's about time journalists, stakeholders alike, raise the flag and say, you know what, enough is enough. We cannot take this. We are a footballing nation. Yes, you argue that football is not the only sport in Nigeria, but Nigeria, when you talk about footballing nations in Africa and even in the world, Nigeria is counted as much. There were speculations that FIFA were going to lose a lot of money because Nigeria didn't make it to the World Cup. That's how much Nigerians love football. Right. So, I think it's about time, if you ask me, really. Okay. But, you need to be here because now you're suggesting it. You need to be at the forefront.
I will. Let's take the banner off. If you give me the go ahead, I will do it. I am very courageous when it comes to that. Now, before we go to the Arsenal game of last night, we understand that the new league season is coming up and there are a number of incentives that is looking like it's flying. Can you just take us briefly into some of them quickly before we move to our next conversation?
Yeah, prior to the new season kickoff, the new season, as the Nigerian Premier League, is kicking off 28th of August, that's about next weekend. And prior to this season, there's a lot of reforms that were suggested or proposed by the NSC, looking at the poor performance of Nigerian teams on the continent when you talk about the CAF Confederation and the CAF Champions League. So, I mean, there have been talks about, okay, let's try to keep our talents on this Nigerian soil. And some of the reforms that were mentioned was the fact that teams have to pay players a good amount of money, wages now. 2 million was the minimum was suggested by the NSC. But as we speak, till this moment, we've not seen, we've not heard if teams are going to comply or if these reforms have been put to paper and sent to various clubs, to make sure that they comply and going forward into the new season. So now we're thinking, is it the same ball game? Is it the same old, same old? Are we still going back to, let's talk this thing, but let's not do it? Talk and not do, like they say in the Palace.
Thank you.
So, I mean, fingers crossed as it is now. We'll just wait and see what happens as the season kicks off.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Let's face it. Can they really come up with these reforms and implement them?
Definitely, it is
2 million naira.
It is achievable
For players every month.
Definitely,
every week. Is it weekly or monthly they pay them now?
Monthly, actually, but a whole lot needs to be in place. One, facilities, infrastructures need to be in place. Then sponsoring, funding. Our football needs to be sponsored. I remember a couple of seasons ago, about 3 seasons ago, about 5 days to the start of the season, we were struggling to get sponsors for the start of the new season. But now, a couple of sponsors are gradually coming in, which of course would open up,
strengthening the financial.
Maybe so. At the long run, we'll definitely
get to that point.
It is achievable.
Which team do you think would give Arsenal a run this season with the way Arsenal is looking right now, from your perspective?
Well, honestly, I'll just say the season has started and looking at the signings, I would go for Chelsea.
Okay.
I'm hoping Chelsea will put something up.
Okay.
Yes, because even last season, they were a tough side for most of the big clubs. And I'm thinking this season with the signings they've acquired, a bit of it, they've strengthened their front line and even their midfield. I mean, I'm thinking Chelsea will give Arsenal a run for their money. But Man City, Man United, it's something I just have to watch how it pans out, honestly.
Do you agree with her?
Well, I think the traditional big four, they will do their usual, the likes of the Manchester United of this world, Chelsea, and maybe Liverpool, but the margin is quite wide between them. Manchester City lost Pep Guardiola, a couple of players they've lost, and they've not been able to replace this guy. So that would, of course, bring a margin, between Arsenal and Manchester City. Manchester United may do better than what they did last season. Remember, they finished third last season, but this season they've been able to add a couple of attack-minded players. We saw Andre Santos, who just joined them, plus a couple of other guys too. So maybe Manchester United closest, but the likes of Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City may be behind Manchester United.
I think Tottenham will do well this season too, because
I think so.
De Zerbi is a very stubborn coach.
No doubt about
very stubborn coach. Yeah. All right, moving on now. Savino to Tottenham, set for an £85 million move, £85 million move from Man City after a medical. Spurs have now spent 200+ million on 6 players this summer. He's unlikely to debut at Brentford and is expected to face Newcastle this next weekend. Thank you very much, Olumide, for your time on the show.
Always a pleasure to be here.
And of course, Brenda Shima, appreciate you as well for coming strong, especially on the case of our women's football. Thank you.
I'm a woman, so I mean,
absolutely. All right, of course, that's it for Sports Update this morning. Stay tuned.